was sitting there trying to be smart. I said, okay. What's it pay? Well, it's a commission job. You go out, you know, it's payments and this and that. And I listened. Number 2, I said, okay, but what's it pay? She said, oh, Connie, it's commission. 3rd time. I said, may I ask what's it pay? And she said, it's a commission job. And I said, you mean it's a volunteer job?
Whether you're a seasoned vet of the payments industry or a brand new rookie who just heard the term dual pricing for the first time, you're in the right place. This is the only podcast that shares the strategies and stories behind selling merchant services. Welcome to AgentFirst.
Hello and welcome to the AgentFirst podcast. I'm Justin Vollrath, your host here today, and I am thrilled and honored to be joined by my good friend, Connie Lewis. Connie, welcome.
Yes, hello, Justin. Hello, everyone.
It's great to have you here. Connie, I've known you for a long time, and you've got an amazing story to tell. You're from...
I'm from
where?
Tulsa. I was actually born in Memphis, Tennessee, but raised in Tulsa in the area, so basically
You lived in the Tulsa area
Oklahoma,
your whole life,
most
right?
of it.
Yeah, okay,
correct.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, our goal here is to always just tell your story. Give the opportunity to tell your story. There are people out there that are maybe struggling in this industry. There are people maybe thinking about getting in this industry, or maybe people that are thinking about getting out of this industry, right? And we just want to give the opportunity to tell your story so that people can relate to it and hear how your story may inspire them as well. So let's kind of start from the beginning. How did you've been doing this for how many years?
This April, it will be 24 years.
24 years.
23 and 3/4.
Okay.
And
Okay. Yeah.
and how I began?
Yeah, how did you get into this?
I was, and we're going back 25 years almost. So I was a single mom with 2 children, living with my mother, paying a mortgage, and I worked in manufacturing.
Okay.
It was pipeline manufacturing.
Okay.
I've done everything. I cleaned hospital rooms, labor and delivery. I was waitress. I mean, I've done it all to raise these kids.
Yep.
Long story short, and back in now we're talking from 86 to 2000, you couldn't get a job in manufacturing as a female, but especially as without a degree.
Really?
So
Okay.
I went back to school when I was 39 years old, took a remedial classes. I ended up with an associate degree, a marketing degree was my bachelor,
Okay.
and a master's degree for industrial management.
Okay.
So I went to school, I went back.
Masters of Industrial Management. Wow,
Masters.
that is awesome.
It's
Okay.
hanging on the wall. I've never used it.
Still a hell of an accomplishment, for sure.
6 years straight. From the beginning to the end, I never stopped and had 2 kids, raised them, and was working, but all to get an increase, a 50-cent increase.
Wow.
That was it.
Wow.
When 2000, after 15 years with a manufacturing firm, that's all they would give me. I was a purchasing agent at that time in purchasing. So I left and went to what's called Nordam, as a buyer, as a senior buyer, and got a nice, I can't remember how much, but a nice increase.
Yeah.
Well, that was January of 2000. In 9/11, 01
Yes.
came. My birthday, October 6th, they walked us out.
Oh,
I lost the job. 15 years down there, I had made the change down the toilet. At that time, if you guys that are around can remember back, there was no work to be had. It didn't matter if you had a degree or not. There wasn't even a McDonald's job.
Right.
So I was drawing unemployment. Unemployment was about to lapse 6 months later. And I went to what was called at that time a headhunter.
Okay.
Back then, you would go and pay a fee, or you could pay a fee to get a better job.
Okay.
The employer would pay part of the fee. So I went in, and this little girl, if you don't mind, I'll tell you that bit of story.
Yeah, I'd love it.
She said, we interviewed. At that time, they wanted $3,000 to go into their office, use their fax machine. That's how much has changed. Put a resume together. They would help you. And they wanted $3,000 cash. And I said, if I had $3,000, I wouldn't be here.
Right?
I wouldn't even be here. And she said, this girl was from Oklahoma City. I forget her name, but she was a nice lady. She said, Connie, let me tell you. She said, I want you to call this place. She said, I used to work for them. And she said, I have a baby, and I don't, I stay at home a little more and want more structure. I said, okay, who is it? And she gave me a number. It was a man named Paul Compton that hasn't been around, but he was. Paul Compton at Heartland Payment, out of Oklahoma City. He's putting together a team. And I said, oh, okay, what's it do? What is it? Well, it's payment. It's credit card processing. That's how we used to refer to payments. Credit card processing everywhere. He said, and I said, I was sitting there trying to be smart. I said, okay, what's it pay? Can you tell me what it pays? Well, it's a commission job. You go out, you know, it's payments and this and that. And I listened. Number 2, I said, okay, but what's it pay? She said, oh, Connie, it's commission. And I said, okay. I nodded. And she talked some more. 3rd time, I said, may I ask what's it pay? And she said, it's a commission job. And I said, you mean it's a volunteer job? And so that was the beginning. I called Paul, left a number. We played phone tag. He was putting together the sales team for Tulsa.
Okay.
So I had no experience, no sales experience at all. And long story short, Blaine Byrne was the man. Some may know him. Absolutely. He was new. He was first hire. I walked into a little office that he had on South Lewis in Tulsa.
I know right what you're talking about. Yeah.
And that's where the office was. I was his first hire, and he looked at me like, how disappointed, because I was old enough to be his mother. I mean, honestly. He thought he had a nice, young lady coming in, and he was, oh, hi. So this was my training. Blaine and I spent an hour there that day. He took a whiteboard. Have you ever heard of the power of the penny? Back when we used to work on, figure money on the penny. Yep. So you take I'll kind of describe it, 0.01, divide it by your average ticket, times 100. That gives you your basis points, how much 1 penny is worth. So back then, it seems like we were more under like a quarter a swipe. There wasn't too much in the play. But that's how it began. So he said, go out, knock doors, ask for a credit card statement. Bring it back, we'll look at it. And that was my training. I walked out of there in 1 hour, not knowing we would have a dime. Wasn't guaranteed, it was commission. Yeah. And so I went up and down Jinx, Oklahoma. I just started walking. And somehow, some way, Justin, I would convince people to give me their little statement, take it back. Now we're talking Zon, was it Zon Jr.?
Zon Jr.
The little printer and the X. Yes. That was when the Hypercom was coming out.
Oh, wow.
Was a
the
fantastic
T7s, yeah.
And so we would, it gives me a chill now thinking about it. Things have changed in 23 years. But the way you begin and the way you're trained is pretty much what turns me on today, and the way I more or less operate, which is not entirely the best way nowadays, but
it works.
It works, and so that's what I would like to share, because I don't feel like I have a lot to share except 101, credit card processing 101.
You have a lot to share.
And so that I feel like in my own personal space, there's been ups and there's been downs, and there's been valleys and there's been highs and there's lows, and now we're on a perpetual high now. So
I love that.
But
I love that.
It really is true, and then this is only my opinion. It's a mathematical. I don't know the equation, but the basics are: if you're starting out or if you're in a rut and you're still thinking, if you knocking doors, or however you communicate, however you reach out to people, if you knock X amount of doors, you're going to get X amount of yeses.
Right.
There are people that cannot say no.
Right.
Now, that was a saving grace. And through the years, I've listened and read, remember the little red sales book?
Yep.
The little, we've read and listened, Tony Robbins, we've had all the great
Jeffrey
speakers,
Gitmer,
all of them. And you can get tidbits, and it's always, a good hype. But the bottom line is, what are you doing today when you wake up?
That's right.
If you don't open that door, pick up the phone, make a call, you talk to somebody. All you've got to do is talk and reach out. Don't let the day turn into a week turn into a month. Now I'm talking to the choir, because after 23 years, I still have to stay present and on myself. It doesn't come naturally.
It never ends.
It never
That's
ends.
right.
The only difference being is now, if I may say, with PayCompass, the liberating factor with me, no requirement.
Oh, yeah.
That took the monkey off our back.
I love that.
And I've 23 years fought that ever-ending month to month.
Yeah.
You could sell $40,000 and you're the fair-haired child. The next month, when you don't close anything, you've closed it all out, you know, you're nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the bottom line of how it was.
What have you done for me today?
That's who makes. So long story short, don't give up.
Yeah.
Do not give up. Recreate the wheel. Now, myself, I'm going to talk about my own weaknesses. Technology. Young people today know so much more. They use the tools, videos, the chats, the media. But I will tell you what will work. You can drop me from a desert island into a small town anywhere. I know nothing and I know nobody. I can start walking and open these doors and talking to people, and I will meet people, and I will sign contracts.
Love it.
I've talked to folks that refuse to cold call. Now, is it the smartest? Is everybody's opinion? It's a way. It's a tool. If you just pick up that phone or go out of your car. You don't have to go anywhere. Go in your neighborhood. Now, I myself have always traveled. I live out of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Right.
When I was young, when my kids were young, when I got in this business, places like Eureka Springs, Arkansas, down through Northwest Arkansas. My family's in Arkansas. That was all we could afford. We were poor people. I didn't have a realm of influence. People who are raised and they have bankers, lawyers, Indian chiefs, in their pocket, friends and family that have businesses, their church family. We had nothing. I mean, I had no realm of influence.
Right.
So if you have people, first covet, what you know. Go to them, reach out, help them, because now in the business that we're in today, with it's 99.9. The only reason that you could not be a provider is because of a proprietary software.
Right.
And that's the only thing that I have found.
That's right.
There's no other reason that we can't service and bring in merchants every day. It's the most enlightening experience that I've had in 23 years.
I love hearing that, Connie.
That's the truth.
Let me ask you, so you are, like you said before, you never sold before you got into this.
Nothing.
And I would challenge that you're still not selling today, right? You're just going out, making relationships, meeting new friends, and there's not a, strangers, just friends you haven't met yet, right?
Correct.
I mean, that's how you operate. Would that be correct?
That's very correct. And as we speak, I just found out today, it could be a sad note, but it's not. There's a optical software that we're not going to be able to load. I will lose that merchant. But I have customers, my merchants, that have followed me for literally over 20 years. I've gone from, if I may say, Heartland Payment to Beyond, back to Heartland. I did go back for 1 year after Beyond was purchased. Yep. And it's now to PayCompass. And I'm going to go ahead and tell my age. I'm just turned 70 years old. I feel like I'm just beginning. Honest to Pete, know that there is a way. I can't imagine sitting down. I get so excited, and you get that high off that sale of helping people. And now, of course, I have more merchants, calling them friends. I try BNI. I've joined the Chamber of Commerce. I've joined the Home Builders Association. But you have to put the work in it. When you pay the money, that doesn't bring the people in. Right. So I've been very good paying money through the years, and then you have to have follow-up. You have to reach out. It's just communication and your friends. And I'll give you a little story. Last week, I ran into the Sam's. Just ran in, my hair pulled back, looked terrible. I've heard a voice across the aisle, and it was a man that I'd done business with in Sapulpa, Oklahoma, Mark Mortazavi. He is back, has a food truck. Now I'm going to go see him next week.
Nice.
But I ran over to him. I heard his voice. I said, Mark, do you remember me? He said, Connie, everybody knows you. And I said, well, where have you been? And one thing that I may ask, if it's no today, doesn't mean it's no tomorrow.
That's right.
I've written business for 10 years later. Yeah. I've come back in, circle back around. There isn't a no, and especially now that we have the opportunity to bring such value.
Right.
We can either price, cash discounting, dual pricing. We have the software ability. to offer things.
Yeah.
And that is my learning curve.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I may say, I picked up last night in the, like we used to talk about banks. I heard one of our agents talking about banks. Now, back in the day, we were forced to go find a bank,
Right.
go talk to them.
Right.
Well, we went in and nothing worked. I mean, things just didn't work sometimes.
Yeah.
But we have so many opportunities, and it makes me think mentally, I'm starting over. If I could open myself up and download the technology part of it, but now I finally get a grip of know who you are.
Yeah.
If you're in this, and I'm not offensive to anyone, but this is who I am. I'm not a shirt and tie, handsome man. You used to, I would be so jelly when the men would walk in. All they could do, put on a shirt and tie, and they're going to win the business immediately. That was just the way it was back then. I am a mom and pop, a multi-location. Nullers.
I love it.
I am the person, bring a 65-year-old man in here, and there's no way he's not going to sign. It's like, but we have to know with who we are.
That's right.
And with whom our audience. Not that we can't grow,
Right.
not that we can't test the water, and we should always be trying to grow. I'm constantly reevaluating and seeing my own faults.
Well, there's so much opportunity out there,
there's just so
right?
much opportunity
we don't
that
need
there wasn't.
You don't need to worry about if I don't understand this aspect of the
Correct.
industry, because as long as I understand this aspect over here, I can
Right.
focus on this, which is what. Well, let me ask you, over the last 25 years, this is a question I've never asked anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious your thoughts on this. What is your favorite credit card terminal you've ever sold? Like the type, like the ones you look back and like, man, that was the best one I
Well,
ever
we
used.
talked about it. Was the old Trans?
You like the
T7.
Trans? Yeah.
But now,
Or the T7s,
I
the
tell you
T7s.
what, the Ingenico, I sell it. It's an easy P3. I think.
Deja Vu P3.
Deja Vu.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
not
Deja Vu
Ingenico.
P3. Yeah.
Okay, that terminal, the new terminals that can be programmed, change the programming,
Yeah.
the software.
Do everything
they're
remotely. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yep.
When I first started, the first internet terminal that I downloaded for internet connection,
Yeah.
it was in a liquor store. It took 3 days.
Oh my
That
gosh.
was the first time we downloaded a terminal.
Was it the old
It was
the
I can't
Hypercom 4220 probably? Or yeah, probably.
Yes, I think
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
And it took us 3 days to
Oh
get
my gosh.
before the to get it right and put the Ethernet cable. It was a nightmare.
Wow.
And so I was trained. My feet were wet. Going in and out of a door, a countertop terminal,
Yeah.
that is my best. But you can find merchants that run $100,000 on a countertop
They're
terminal.
all over the place, right?
They're all
Yeah.
over the place. Even now, dental, medical. Now, we do have the great news is the technology for savvy people,
It is,
to offer that. And I am thankful for the Tuesday toolbox, Toolbox Tuesday, and for the training that we have.
Yeah.
Now, I speak from experience. You don't always get the training that we are offered today.
Right.
And I'm going to have to shout out to PayCompass for the staff, the employees, from the support
I appreciate that.
to sales
Thank you.
to all the way through.
Oh,
It
thank
is
you.
definitely a company that is a people person.
Oh, thank you.
They care. You care.
Yeah.
You matter. And if you matter, you feel
Absolutely.
it. The energy is high.
Yeah.
We're all about taking care of the merchant.
Yep.
And when you get in a spot where you can't serve your merchant anymore, it's time to look exactly where we're at.
That's right.
And so
That's right. I
my
love that,
opinion.
Connie. I love that. What is your? So I mean, obviously you're a cold calling machine, right?
Yeah,
You
I
love to
could
go.
be.
You love to get in your car,
I
go out in
do.
the small towns, Oklahoma, Arkansas.
I really do.
and go talk. Is there a type of merchant that you love calling on, or is it just
Nope.
like anybody and everybody? Is there a type you focus on?
Restaurant owners, of course, is
Yep.
we can make good money on with these restaurant owners, and we serve them. I have restaurant as far Eureka Springs, referrals coming back, but there's everything. Now I am trying to improve upon not just signing every dog catcher that walks.
Good for you.
I am a volume. Now I'm very focused on bringing, moves to myself, volume of processing, but there's not a B2B. I love B2B.
Yeah.
There, and now with Swipe Simple, I've got several quotes out and using the software where the service guy can text the link to get your payment.
Isn't that crazy?
And that's unimaginable.
That's awesome,
It's just
isn't it?
unimaginable. And then a countertop terminal. But my very favorite is, of course, just a standalone terminal.
Amen.
Now, my weakness is point of sale. That's my comfort. But
That's okay.
we have to reach out. And if you're going to grow, look and listen to the videos and do the research. I'm not the best research person, but we have a fabulous team, and I tell you what, they will give you more information than what you can use.
Well, if you want to go back to the Blaine Byrne teachings,
Correct.
I remember one of the things Blaine taught me early in the years was that you only need 3 things to be good in this business, right? You have to know how to set an appointment.
Correct.
How to correctly run that appointment, and where to go to find information, right? It's okay if you don't know everything, right? As long as you know where to find that information, that's what matters, right?
And that is exactly what I had what I considered 2 gifts. I love to talk, imagine, and I love to drive.
Right.
And so that was what I did. I drove up and down the roads. I still drive, not as much. I try to, the smarter than harder thing is whatever works for you. If that's what it takes, do it, because it will bring you in your career success.
One last question for you. You've been doing this for like almost 25 years, you mentioned. Only the last, 8 months of it have you been an independent contractor, right?
Since
you were
April.
always, so not even that. So not that long. So how has that transition been for you? Because that's
fabulous.
The big change.
It is just, again, Justin, it gives me chills. My residual has climbed more now than I ever experienced in 23 years.
Oh
I make
my
more
gosh.
money per month. Now, taking it back, we don't have the signing bonus.
Right.
But the ability, the only stopping point or things that not success is within. Right. If you keep trying, we keep punching, we keep going, and keep talking. And even like POS, we have, for me, Clover, I've emailed John Marshall. He's going to do some demos with me.
Yep.
And I tell him now, look, I don't even know how to turn it on, but I do know how to service this account. I will bring it to you. We will do it together.
I'll answer the
and
phone.
we'll walk through it.
That's
And
right,
we
that's
will
right.
get customer service. And again, still, people, my answer your phone. It's not always bad news, but one thing it took me a long time to learn, don't hide. Anytime you're driving, or if you ever get that 6th sense, Johnny, I need to talk to him, you better talk to him, because there's something in there, and they're going to be moving. And answer your phone. If it is trouble, I look at trouble a whole lot different now in my age. It's an opportunity to endure yourself to these people, to your merchants. And I have really merchants that I feel are family. And again, like with meeting people, and it doesn't bother me if I don't care how many years it's been since I've talked to them. But to me, you've only got a few seconds to open that door, to get that community on a true cold call. It'd be interesting. I'd love to hear how many people actually do cold call or will cold call.
It's getting less and less.
It's getting less and less. And so if you're in a place that you need to start over, or you want to just increase, you want to spend a day a month, spend a day a week.
Absolutely.
Get out there, talk to people, and ask. Now, another thing, may I say, ask for the business.
Right.
How many times have we sitting there and everything is cool, the best price, the best money, it's all perfect, but we don't ask for that sale.
You gotta ask for it, right?
You got to sign that,
I love that.
push it on
I love
over the
that.
line, and ask for it. If you don't ask, you don't get.
I love it.
Now that's
So I'd like to just make sure that gets heard, what was just said that you mentioned there, is that in 6 months, your residuals are higher than it's ever been in 23 years.
absolutely.
That's wow to me. That is
Phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. It's a testament to the community you've built and what you're doing there, Connie. I love
And
it.
through the years, I have experienced back in the day, we had what we called family. You felt good. I will never, ever say, PayCompass has brought back that shine, the spirit, the caring, the love, the growth. I can't, and I'm not trying to push, it is the place.
Oh, appreciate that.
You guys, and I listened to people as we were talking and eating last night.
Yeah.
It's not just salespeople that love their job. Your staff loves the job.
thank you.
The people love their job, and it's evident. When you call in, you feel, hey, Connie, how are you? I have been in a situation before. It's you. You know, what do you need? What, blah, blah, blah. You can get something done for your merchant without 5 forms and 6 approvals. You can get it back into it, because it is, from your position, agent first. Our position, it's merchant first.
That's right.
And if we take care of that relationship, we're not going to fail.
Connie, that means the world to me.
It just absolutely
warms
is
my
the
heart,
truth.
and I appreciate
Amen.
that. Thank you very much.
It's given me a boost that I thought was gone
Love
forever. And
Love
I
hearing that.
love now, I look forward. I am able to help my kids go on vacation. And that's enduring to me, is help them do things that my
able to do.
grandson, and I thought, as long as I'm working, I'm going to work as long as I physically and mentally can.
Right.
And I feel like now that I've got more, you have to have that inspiration inside.
right.
You know, instead of just sitting there
I love
and
it. I love
dying,
it.
and it's not over.
Well,
so
Thank you, Connie. Connie, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you telling the story. This is inspiring, whether you realize it or not. Extremely inspiring to so many else out there. So thanks, everybody, for watching another episode of the Agent First podcast. We'll see you next time.